welcome back to my channel. This is Michaela and I will be talking about my experience with having triple negative breast cancer. So I wanted to first start out by saying thank you if you've been watching my videos. They are totally unscripted. I have a list of just ideas that I want to talk about, but I really find that it's important sometimes to just say how it is and not have something to read from. So if there's ever something that I talk about that is confusing or I don't really describe it very well, please let me know and I will be happy to go over it again or just write a little something in the description. Today I just wanted to quickly talk about surgery. So I have a mastectomy coming up, and so if you haven't watched my previous videos, I had a mastectomy on my left side, which was my affected breast, and I had stage 3 triple negative breast cancer on my left breast. So I had a tumor about the size of a golf ball, and obviously I have nothing there now because I had a mastectomy, but in about 2 weeks, I will have another mastectomy on my right side. If you don't know, triple negative breast cancer is really high for recurrence. So as a way for myself to hopefully not have to deal with the cancer diagnosis again, I have chosen to undergo a prophylactic mastectomy, which means that I'm having it removed without actually having cancer in there yet. And it's really important for me as a personal choice to have this because it'll just be one less thing that I think that I will worry about. I think I'll always have the possibility of cancer coming back, but I think just not having to worry so much of like every little lump that's in my breast, every little possible thing that's in there, I think it'll be nice to not have to always wonder, oh my gosh, is that cancer again? You know, is my doctor seeing this? Are they feeling the same thing that I'm feeling? Am I crazy for thinking these things, right? Like all these kinds of feelings that I probably would have had before. I'm hoping that I won't have those anymore. I just got out of the pool and I just realized that I have mascara under my eyes. Oh my word. So, the type of surgery that I will be having, it's actually like 3 surgeries in one. So I'm getting the right side of my breast removed, and when they remove the breast, what they are really doing is they're taking out all of the tissue, and I have also chosen not to spare my nipples, meaning I will not be keeping my nipples. To me, it's just really not that important. I'm not really sure if I want to have children, but if I do, I wouldn't plan to breastfeed, so it's just a choice that I've made. So I will be having the mastectomy on my right side to remove the breast tissue and my nipple, and then they will basically just close the area, so they'll like remove the nipple and all the tissue and everything. They'll close that up, and then they will put, before closing it, they will put an expander in there, and then they will close it up. And then on my left side, so the side that I've already had a mastectomy, they will take skin from my back, which is the latissimus dorsi flap. So there's different types of skin flaps that they can use. My doctor recommends the latissimus dorsi flap because that's where it's just thought that I'll probably heal the best. But there's lots of different types that people can do. But that's the type that my doctor has chosen and feels would be the best. And honestly, I agree. At first I really wasn't sure, and then I did some research, and it tends to have the best surgical outcomes as far as healing time, as far as, you know, just being able to heal really well is important to me. And that's more important to me than having my stomach or, you know, skin from somewhere else taken. And then, yeah, so they're going to do the latissimus dorsi flap and then they will take the skin from my back and place it onto the area that has been affected by radiation, and then they will put in the expanders, so that way when I decide to kind of expand my skin for the implants that I'll later receive, then, you know, kind of have more of a seamless transition, mostly because they just say that radiated skin tends to not heal very well, and it really doesn't do well with surgery, which is fine. I'd rather only have to go through this process once versus 2 or 3 times, because I think that there are times when a doctor just knows surgical outcomes better. And a mastectomy and reconstruction is kind of one of those times when I am going to put that into my doctor's hands. I think that there are times that as a patient, we need to say, no, this is what is going to be best for my body. And I'm all for that. But I think in this case, I'm okay with the doctor just making that choice, and not so much making the choice. I mean, I had the choice, but, you know, the doctor was really quite firm that, you know, doing it this way would be best. So the different types of surgery that people can have, there is the surgery like I'm going to have, which is the latissimus dorsi flap. So they're going to be taking skin from basically like under my shoulder blade and then replacing it onto the affected breast area. There's also a surgery to remove skin from my buttocks to place over the surgery area, over the breast area. And then there's also a surgery which a lot of people are getting. It removes a flap from the stomach, and they kind of like pull it up into and over your breast area. The doctor that I am seeing, the plastic surgeon that I'm seeing, he really doesn't do that surgery very often, but he really didn't recommend it for me. So you always want to make sure that, you know, if you are going to get a second opinion, that it's not just because it's something that you want, but that it's something that is going to be good for you. Does that make sense? So I very well could have gone to get a second opinion to have somebody say, yes, you have enough skin there, it'll be really good for you to get this surgery. But, you know, doctors that are completing reconstruction are taking a lot of things into consideration. One being the way that you might already have scars in other places of your body. For me, a lot of my scars kind of turn purplish. So, you know, for me, it's not really a great option to have a huge scar on my stomach if the only reason that I want it is so that I can wear a bikini someday and feel like I'm looking less, you know, thick or something. I'm gonna have a scar there, so it's either I'm going to have skin there or I'm gonna have a scar there. So so there's that. There's also the fact that my body size is not typically the size that I am right now. So I do have extra skin there, but that's really not my body size. This is post-chemo weight, and this is where I am right now. And I've accepted that, and I'm dealing with that. But as far as this being my body for the rest of my life, you know, my overall body, this is my body, but I'm not at the weight that my body likes to be at. So, you know, removing a huge flap of skin might not actually be the best thing, because it might kind of ruin the way that my body is naturally trying to, you know, form itself to be. So it's important to, you know, to take that into consideration as well. And then also, you know, if people do decide that they want to have children someday, you know, and they haven't yet, and they're going to be getting that surgery, I mean, what's the point if you can just take it from somewhere else and then allow your body to kind of, you know, expand and contract as it naturally would. Last time I was in the hospital, same day I was out, and then I had stitches, and I had internal stitches, and then I had staples, and the staples were removed I believe like a week later. And honestly, the staples hurt more than anything. The staples were the worst part of the whole situation for me. I don't know if that just had to do with where it was, just like kind of setting on my chest. I'm not really sure. But I'm hopeful that this time around, I'll find out more information actually this week, but I'm hopeful that this time around I won't have as many staples, because those were really, like I said, just the most painful part about the entire mastectomy. So I think that my healing time will be about 2 weeks, and then the doctor said to plan for about 4 to 6 weeks total off. So, you know, I work from home, which is really wonderful, but I think I might actually take the 4 weeks, which sounds silly, but I was just so, I just didn't really want to be in that headspace last year of like, this idea of like, oh my gosh, like I've just had cancer, like if I stop and think about it, it's, you know, it's gonna really all come over me at once. And maybe I should have, but I've done a lot of healing over the last, I don't know, 6 months. I've talked a little bit about this breast cancer survivor group that I was in. It's called Breast Cancer Thrivers, actually. And I've really been able to like let go of a lot of the anger and a lot of the frustration and just a lot of the feelings that I had that I did not address. So as a therapist, it's not always good to not address all the things that you're going through, especially because I'm the first one to tell other people, hey, you really should take care of yourself and you really should address these feelings. But, you know, here we are a year later, and I've finally addressed those things, and I feel really good about them. And I feel really good about going into the surgery, and I feel even better about taking that time for myself and really allowing myself to heal. So I will just end this video with just a little something that I took away from the Breast Cancer Thriver group that I thought was just so helpful, is that just accepting myself where I am right now is the best thing for my overall health. So I feel like just accepting myself and loving myself where I am at this very moment, no matter what size I am, no matter what weight I am, no matter what my hair looks like or my nails look like or anything else, that I am exactly how I should be right now. And it's amazing because I'm alive and I'm thriving, and I'm really grateful that I was able to learn that, which sounds so silly, but I think sometimes we just need to be in a place where we can even hear that. And I know for myself a year ago, I was not able to hear that. So I hope that you have a wonderful day, and please subscribe if you haven't yet. Thank you so much for watching my video. Bye-bye.